Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Outdoors. We just don't do these enough, do we? Listen, today is the Joker Knives Campero review. Now, my boy Kirk, who you've seen on the channel a lot, my brother from another mother, gifted me this at Christmas. And I'm going to tell you, man, I've been able to do a couple of Joker knives, but this one might be my favorite, and they've all been spot on. For the price point, they're hard to beat. They're high quality, made in Spain. I love Spanish-made knives, have several, but not many Jokers. So Kirk, man, I appreciate you. And Kirk's the guy that got me into knives. And so it's fitting that he would get me one like this that's just badass. Let's jump into it. I absolutely adore it. This is the Joker Campero. It's in Sandvik 14C 28N. Olive wood handle scales. I believe those are black G10 liners. You get a full grip, whether it's a hammer grip, a fist grip, a reverse hammer grip. You get a full grip with this knife. The blade width, and let's just talk specs here, jumping into it. The blade width looks to be about 1/8. Okay, but it came razor sharp. Now, it came with a rougher toothy edge, which I prefer. I did put out a short this week on what do you prefer, polished edges or a rough edge. Now, let me backtrack. On swords and bottle cutting and slicing and things like that, I prefer a polished edge, right? When it comes to bushcrafty work, camping, camp knife type stuff, I like a little bit more of a toothy edge. Now, we've got a 1/8 inch blade width. The handle width is right at, it's a little bit over 3/4. And I realize being made in Spain, all the measurements should be in millimeters. I've got a tape measure out right now. We're cutting that 3/4 inch, 1 inch nylon rope. And I want you to watch how many I cut. Now, we're reviewing this as a cutting tool. We're not going crazy. We're going to do a lot of cutting in this video. Keep track of all the materials that we cut and how many times we cut them, okay? The handle length on this knife is right at 4 5/8 inches. That's total handle length. The inner grip is right at 4 1/4. I've said this a million times. There's a bunch of hands that can fit this knife. It comes with a sharpening choil. I like that sharpening choil on there for a couple of reasons, not the least of which is doing some sharpening, but for the harmonics of the knife when it comes to batoning, I like seeing there it has kind of a break point there. The ergonomics of this thing is just amazing. Now, the blade length is 4 1/8 with a cutting edge of right at 3 7/8. So really, it's a perfect EDC. I'm going to pin a comment with the weight. That's the one thing I didn't get, and I apologize for that. The overall length on this knife is looks like 8 5/8. And again, guys, I realize that it's probably in millimeters, but I've got my tape and I'm going to the closest number there. All in all, this might be my go-to camp knife or companion knife. Why? It has a 90-degree spine, which is sharp as shit. We're going to make some duff. It's a clip point. I was going to call it a modified clip. There's those liners. Look at those handle ergos. You got a great palm swell there. It fills up my hand. It's nowhere close to too big, but it's not too small. So I can get a very comfortable grip. Good stabbing grip for that kind of thing, you know, because we all got to stab some. What I wanted to show y'all is just a lot of cutting. Now. I'm going to start approaching the cutting tools as cutting tools. I know that's revolutionary and mind-blowing. Not every knife has to be beat through a wood knot. Not every knife has to stab a tire. I enjoy doing that stuff. I really do, but I think sometimes a lot gets lost when doing that, and we lose the cutting capability or the point of the video. The point of this video is just to show you the knife, how easy it is to use. This is a great knife, man. This is a knife that I would honestly, when my grandson goes to get a fixed blade for our camping trips, this would be a knife I wouldn't mind putting in his hand. It's safe. It has a nice guard there, and he's not going to go crazy with it. Granddaddy's going to teach knife fundamentals. I believe that's important. The thing here is, guys, with my videos, and if you're new here, what I want you to understand is this. When I get a knife, when we do a knife for a demonstration or a review, we're focusing on that knife and that knife brand. I'm not worried about other options, okay? I don't deal in that. I don't sell the damn things. Therefore, I'm focusing on this knife. Now, that's not like a go at you type thing. I just want you to understand how I personally approach it. Really, my kind of psychology, philosophy behind my videos is this. If this was the only knife I had at the time, could I make it work? And maybe that'll help you some, because inevitably somebody would say, well, I would choose this or that. Well, that's great. And I've probably showed that knife on the channel, but I don't want to take away from the one I'm showing. And again, that's not a smart ass thing. I'm working hard on not coming off as one because I don't want to. Just giving you a little behind the scenes. Look, I want y'all to notice again how much cutting we did. That sandblast hose. It is reinforced. Guys, the mediums that I show you, if it's a ratchet strap or a tie down strap, it's typically been cut and it's no good as far as work purpose. Now look how thick that is. When these sandblast hoses blow out, you're not going to crimp those back together. You get a new one. But once you cut the bad out, and I've showed y'all some of the bad, some of the wear on them. That's how thick that sumbitch is. This knife, what I found with this knife is now they were going to make some duff. I'm going to be quiet. We strike a ferro rod later, but here's the thing, man. We've cut nylon rope, right? Ratchet straps. We've stabbed that foam. That's really carpet padding. We use that to ship rails. We do nothing with carpet. If you don't think that ship won't dull a knife in a hurry, it will. And that doesn't account for the 15 stabs I did off camera because I wasn't looking at where I was stabbing. It doesn't count for cutting the rope 3 or 4 extra times. That just didn't make the cut. It doesn't account for any of that, right? And I did some very, very light batoning because this is a knife. If I was going to take this knife camping, and I damn sure am, it's going to be my food prep knife. It's going to be my fire knife. It's going to be my go-to companion blade. I'll take choppers. I'll take all that. I don't need to beat the shit out of this knife. What I have found with Joker from the few that I've done, and my goal is to get my hands on more, but what I've found with them, they come with a sharp blade. I love the 14C 28N. Their handles are phenomenal. The ergos, I'm holding it now in my left hand, and it's just amazing. I can hold it in all 4 positions. It's badass. Would I carry the knife? Well, I'm going to. Kirk, thank you, brother. Let's transition into this, guys. There was a time in this country where 22 vets a day took their own lives. Now, stats are everywhere. The real number's between 15 and 29. That's why here on this channel, we focus on the number 0. Anything over 0 is simply unacceptable. Vets, we love you. You have a place here. That's all that means. Personally, guys, I back the blue. It's just something I've done since I started the channel. It's something I believe in, but I don't believe in arguing over it, and I'm not going to push it on anybody. It's just one of our channel's causes. And finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. Well, here was a big-ass piece of fat lighter, man. The stuff smells so good. And you can see this knife just shaving it up, shaving it up, shaving it up. That piece right there will give me about 100 fires and a lot of enjoyment. Joker, you killed it, guys. Hey, listen, I'm Scab. You're not. I'm gone, son. Love y'all. See you tomorrow.